this audio, free will or destiny, is life free will or destiny? And also the one before, heaven and hell, is it real or BS? I've recorded at about 2 a.m. and I deliberately waited till I'm tired, so I probably sound a bit tired and slurring a bit, but I'm also finding that information is flowing a little bit differently for me than it does in the morning. So I'm just having a go at doing it this time when I'm tired and about to go to bed and probably have my brain waves in a different state to normal. Okay, so life, is it pre-written? Is it pre-planned for us? Is it predestined? Or is it about free will and we create our own destinies? So this is a big question I've thought about many times over my life. Originally, I thought it was, or at least the first time I had any consciousness of this concept and decided to give it some thought, I was doing a lot of goal setting and achieving things and building the business and a lot of overseas trips, and I could see that whatever I was putting my mind to and planning, putting energy into, as in emotional energy, consistently, I was achieving. So I thought at that stage that life is all pre-planned, it's all free will, it's in your total control. And then I met someone, a spiritual person, someone that had a pretty good idea on some of their past lives and could explain how their behaviour in this life has been affected from past lives. Not that I believed everything, but the person definitely did know things, and had done a lot of work. Hadn't done a lot of reading or studying, but had a lot of knowledge on these topics. And this person explained to me that life is predetermined, and as a result they did bugger all with their life because they thought wherever it's going to go and end up is where it's going to go and end up. So dropped out of school, started a business for a little while but dumped it, and then disappeared in the late teens to Ibiza and used all sorts of party drugs there, knowing that everything's going to work out the way it's meant to, destined according to what she thought. And then I believe now has mental problems and all sorts of issues now. So it didn't end up anywhere what we would call in this society like successful, whatever it may be, high paid job, business, car and house. I didn't even work out to what we may call mediocre, kind of right down the bottom with mental issues. So I saw from that just putting all the faith in the universe to just do it for you, and everything's pre-planned to the T, to the letter, and predestined is probably not a good way to approach it. But I also noticed later, for myself, after achieving a lot, I realised that everything you achieved, everything you have, not one little bit of it is in your control. You think it is, but it can be taken anyway. If there's a change of health, change of economy, lockdowns, marriage breakdown, someone sues you for something, it can be all gone, or most of it gone, or you in a state where you can't use it anyway because you have a disability. So, and I've seen this happen a lot, where people who thought everything was all within their power and they created their own destiny, just have it all removed, not instantly, and they're left with sometimes nothing, not even their kids, and they're living in the back of a car when just not long ago they were on top of the world. So I started to realise, and then I started to talk to many intuitive people that work as intuitives, and intuitives as in I've been to see different intuitives. I never ask for the future. I just want to ask about developing myself now. What can I work on? And I tell them, don't ever tell me anything about the future, because I'm part creator of my future, and I don't want it to be pre-programmed by anything that you tell me, locked into my subconscious, and then I start following that. Whether I like to or not, subconscious tends to lead you in a direction if you start programming in a certain way. So they don't tell me anything about the future. They just tell me, okay, now, as you are now, need to work on this, need to work on this energy, need to do more of this. Don't be hard on yourself about this. And they explain why, link it to the chakras, meridians, link it back to the past experiences. Then it starts to click. Oh, of course, yep. And even to past lives as well. So what did these intuitives say? Some of them are born intuitive. Some of them been practicing intuitive practices for one lady 40 years. So some were born like from a very young age. It was obvious they were intuitive. Some had something activated during their life, an event, a trauma, and it just kicked in. So I know someone like that who's activated when her best friend died, and then somehow after that she could communicate with her best friend telepathy, through thought forms. So that activated for her, and then she became very intuitive, and her job became running courses on psychic development. And then other people just get attracted to it and start studying it, and they put in the hard yards and do the meditations over many, many years and become good at it. So there are three ways I've found that people become intuitive, and I know people from each of this category. My Reiki master was the first one. Oh, no, actually, hers activated after a traumatic event. Another other lady activated when her friend died. But another lady I know, just her whole life, she's been like this. Okay, and I've also looked at all the big names on YouTube in this area, like Ralph Smart, Spirit Science. There's a heap that of light workers, Christina Lopes, Dolores Cannon, of course, and looking at all their work, looking at what I've experienced people that believed in destiny, and those that said no, it's free will, and all these experts as well. And what it's come down to is it's a combination of the two. So your life is a combination of free will and destiny. So good thing is free will. You can keep with your goal settings, keep smashing your goals, and that will fit into the free will component. But then there also is the destiny component, where in your pre to this incarnation, you meet with a group of a council who specialize in designing lifetimes for souls. There's all sorts of jobs. It's not when you die, you just, I don't know, turn into dust or something. You're still consciousness, still a conscious soul. Plenty of jobs for you to do in coaching, running schools for spirits to prepare them for next lifetimes. There's higher roles as well, like the angelic roles and the co-creators. There's so much to do that we don't know about once we move on from this physical world. And of course there's worlds that are non-physical. When I was talking in my previous video on heaven and hell, I didn't even mention that there are realms that are non-physical. Beings are still in these realms, and they can also be in heaven and hell depending on their emotional state as well. Okay, so it's a mixture, our life. So mixture of destiny and free will. So you may start off homeless, You may start off in the back street of Calcutta with a bunch of homeless orphans, yourself one of them, and their life is just destined to continue on like that for the rest of their life. That was what they chose to experience this lifetime in conjunction with the council. Maybe they were the only positions available for souls at the time, and they took it. Maybe they would have preferred something better, but they could use that experience. Maybe in past lives they've already had lifetimes of riches and fame, and they wanted to now experience the lessons and emotions that you get from a lifetime of poverty in the back streets of India or wherever. Not something that we as humans would like, but we're trying to understand this through our human brain rather than pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is concerned about expansion of the universe, which involves learning lessons and taking back that knowledge. Learning lessons, growing, taking back that knowledge, and the universe expands. So they live a life of poverty as a beggar on the street, but one person, something happens, gets taken to an orphanage, he's lucky, gets food, shelter, gets collected by a couple, they become famous, he becomes their son, he takes over the business, becomes a prime minister, whatever. So had some destiny built into his lifetime at that point. So he went from rags to riches. Doesn't mean it's not built in for him to go back to rags or get assassinated. And then you got people that already inherited and born with everything, live their life, and something happens, whatever it may be, some sort of disaster, and they're homeless. And you hear about this too. Powerful people go from rags to riches, or the other way around, riches to rags, and then they're going to experience homelessness for a while, and maybe the rest of their life. Maybe that's what they've chosen, so no one's going to come along and save them. Or maybe it's part of their life plan to rebuild their wealth and fame again, which they should be able to do a lot quicker since they've done it once and learned how to do it. And you hear of a lot of people doing it multiple times. So, just explaining it's all interwoven, the ups and downs, the free will, the destiny. So you might have set events scattered throughout out of your life. You've scattered them through. These are going to happen no matter what. And in between, you're working free will. But at this point, bang, you're going to get married. And at this point, bang, you're going to have kids. And another point, this relationship, you've both learned everything you can from each other, and your spiritual growth has come to a halt. Time to end this relationship, because it was all about learning. That's what they're about. And now, time to be a hermit for a while and digest everything. You don't want to go straight away into another relationship and get busy and forget yourself again. Now it's time to digest and expand. And you might be quite happy like that, live the rest of your life as a hermit or a monk, or another relationship, maybe a different type of relationship. Okay, so hopefully you understand now that life itself is a mixture. It's not predetermined. There is free will, but the interwoven and how it's mixed for each of us won't be identical. So we can't really compare. Just know that you've come in with a plan, with a mission and a purpose. It's not just random. There's things for you to achieve, and a lot of it in the end is about helping others, which helps humanity to elevate in frequency, expand, and then again the universe expands. Thank you.